Morning. Today is the day. Connor Ben versus Chris Eubank. So we got to start the morning off right. Man, family, I can't lie to y'all. It's been a crazy week in the sport of boxing. I knew as soon as November hit, it was gonna get crazy. But we're gonna start the day off with, if I can find my leaves, we're gonna start the day off with some sour sop leaves. Sour sop leaves. For those who are new to the channel, this is what we always start our weekends off. The sour sop leaf, the cancer fighting sour sop leaf. Let me put some respect on this plant's name. Stephen L. the Mac. Salute, family in the house. Always representing. But to put some respect on this, brother, I am drinking some of this cancer fighting sour sop leaf this morning with some lemon detox, and we're gonna put a little lime juice in it. And get this day started. But let me say this, family. I knew that when November hit, we were gonna start hearing some crazy things in the sport of boxing. And you know what? They called us all crazy when we tried to tell them about the corruption with Tyson Fury and his camp. They called us crazy when we said, something ain't right over there with the WBC when they allow their favorites to have clenbuterol in their systems. And they called us conspiracy theorists. If it was not the mainstream media saying it, then we were not to be believed. When we tried to tell people, even my brothers, Freedom's March and the brother Trill Will, who give great talking points on politics, and they try to explain to you, what's going on with the left and the right, and people don't want to listen. When we try to tell you that these people are pedophile, psychotic individuals who are really have no empathy for the American people, you all don't want to listen to. Now, that's not my lane. That's my brother's lanes. But I'm starting to realize that the truth that they're speaking, we're dealing with this in every lane because this is a day of truth and separation. I heard a brother say yesterday, I kid you not, family, I'm not making this up. I was on my brother Champ Size channel, right? Brother calls in and says, I just don't want Devin Haney to win. I just hate the brother. I couldn't believe that he was being so honest. I could not believe that I was hearing for the first time someone being honest about their hatred for an individual they don't even know that looks just like them. Because usually that contentious spirit, because you do know bitterness, envy, all of those are the root that fuel someone to backbite you, backdoor you. What else? Kill you even. It all starts off with those type of feelings, right? Stephen and Max said facts. I was in the chat, dude himself, exactly. And see, I know this guy's going to get blocked in a second, but I want to show you all something. As soon as we start talking facts, or as soon as a coward, a hypocrite, a racist, a jealous individual, they start hearing us build, they come into the chats like this, whoever this Azro dude is. Let's check his channel out real quick. See, another hateful, punk ass dude that could be doing anything else in his day, but he's here while we're trying to speak truth. So you get to watch from the sidelines now. Little old Coach Hudson with my small channel. Why are you here? You see what I'm saying? But these are the kind of people we're dealing with, family. These are the type of haters that we're dealing with. The Dirt Game Boss is in the house. So the brother, hey, Dirt Game Boss, man, let me give you a wrench. And you know what? I'm going to use this time to give all my people that don't have wrenches, because usually when I'm on StreamYard, I can't do it. So we're going to, let's see, manager, moderator, standard moderator, right? So the guy calls in, let me get back on point, family. Y'all know I'll get lost. It says, yo, I just want Devin Haney to lose because I hate him. I'm like, yo, now people used to say, Coach, man, you taking it too hard. Coach, you're taking it too personal. I don't think that's what it is at all. And finally, even Coach Marcus that called in and said, well, I don't think it's hate. Man, that brother called in and completely told you exactly what it is. There are brothers, family. Forget the race fans. We know what the race fans are about. See, race fans, let me tell y'all something about race fans. Race fans are some of the most cowardly groups of people on earth, because a race fan will have someone who they think is superior, let them call them names, let them even, come in and take their women, all types of things, all types of debauchery, but they will only have smoke for you because the way you look. That's a race fan. Most cowardly scum of the earth, pieces of crap in the sport of boxing. But the ones among us that say, yo, I just don't want this brother to win because I hate him. Well, I wanted someone to ask him, because I was driving at this point. I had already called in. I wanted somebody to ask him, well, brother, why do you hate him? What has he done that is so wrong for you to hate him? Dirt Game Boss says, Coach, most of them want Devin to lose because they hate Bill. But my question is, because maybe I'm not seeing what they're seeing. And someone told me last week, they said, Coach, you have to understand that some people live in a alternate reality that is completely different. They told me, they said, Coach, some people live in a reality to keep them from losing their mind because they are so they have assimilated into being lazy. They have assimilated into giving up on life. They have assimilated into being a hateful person that constantly wants to jump on people who are doing good. So I started reflecting and saying, okay, so if these people are in an alternate reality, that means in their mind, they make up alternate morals and integrity. See? Stephen L. said, no, this caller was different, Dirt Gang, for real. Oh, yeah. I don't think Dirt Gang Boss heard what we're talking about. Dirt Gang Boss, now, I done been around for a little bit now. And you're right. There are people who call in that just hate Bill. Whether they hate his personality, whatever, and they swear up and down it's not a father thing. They just hate Bill because of his personality. Now, when I always point out, I say, well, why don't you all have that smoke for Angel Garcia? Why don't you all have that smoke for John Fury? They never can give me a good answer. But I let him have that. Dirt Game Boss, this brother, this is not what that was. This was something else. This brother called in straight up and was like, yo, look, man, I ain't got no fight in the game. I just hate that nigga. And you could hear it. Man, listen, family. I be trying to tell y'all, people be thinking I'm tripping. And see, some people, let me get a little deep for a second. Some of you don't see or feel oxygen, but you know you need it. And when I try to explain frequencies and consciousness and the whether you want to call it a spirit or an energy or a frequency of a thing, if you were to see the frequencies of energy that's in a person, you would see some of these people have foul energies. They have bitterness, contentiousness. These are the kind of people. Y'all remember the movie? What is that? Belly? Y'all remember the movie Belly? When dude was on the corner, I think it's Belly. Yeah, dude was on the corner eating a banana, and he seen him riding by clean, and he said, I don't like that. They say I can add a question and answer. Well, maybe I should. Let's see. It says try it. I didn't know I could do this on my phone. Let's see. Well, how should I ask it? How should I ask this question? All right, let's see. Do you believe that people who hate Devin Haney for no reason, I can't be that long. Let's put, do you know why they hate Devin Haney? Let's put that one in. All right. Let's put, do you know why they hate Devin Haney? That's dope. I didn't know I could do that on my phone. Now, how do I post it? How do I? Family, can you all see that? Drag here to end. I'm going to put that at the top, right? So I guess it'll stay up there the whole time. But anyway, so Dirt Game Boss says, well, we all know self-hate in our community outweighs the love. You could hear in this man's voice that if he had the opportunity, he might try to do something. Like I have heard people dislike someone, but the disgust in his voice when he was like, man, I hate that nigga. And you could hear it, family. He was like, man, I hate that nigga. And I'm sitting here listening. I'm like, hold on now. This sound. And anytime you just let somebody talk, you always see where the hate come from. I want to tell y'all, family, I remember a few weeks ago, right? I was on, I think, 78's channel. Shout out to the general. And I was talking about something. And in this moment, no, this was the time me and the African brother was going back and forth. We was having a conversation. And we came to a conclusion as brothers. Because he understood where I was coming from. I understood where he was coming from. Somebody gets in the chat and tries to reignite the division. So I just let him talk for a second before I respond to him. And you know what the root of it was? The way I was speaking, this brother that was talking shit in the chat, and he might have just been a white man trying to act like and cosplay a brother, gets in the chat and starts talking about his problem with the Nation of Islam. I'm like, whoa, let me put that down. I'm like, whoa, brother. First of all, this is what I told him. I said, dude, I'm not even in the Nation of Islam. But let me say this. West Side Chicago, all I saw was good examples. Your personal beef with the nation, you need to take that up with the nation. We over here talking boxing. I'm having a bill with another brother. You coming at me saying that I'm trying to be like Farrakhan. I'm trying to be like this person, that person. Dude, if the only conscious brother you ever heard in your life was the minister, dude, that's on you. Because if you listened to brothers from that have consciousness, you will see a lot of them sound alike. I don't think I sound like the minister. I actually think I sound more like a Southern or Midwest bishop, like guess who? My grandfather, who I grew up around in the church. My grandfather is a bishop, Bishop Hudson. So maybe I speak with the dictation in my voice that way because that's what I grew up around. But he didn't take that into account. He went to the person that in his mind, remember we talked about that alternate reality. He has made up an enemy in his mind in anyone that he hears preaching or talking with a conscious voice. Disturbs the real hate in him. Family, if you're moving like that, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're moving like that, you need to take a look in the mirror and realize you have a sickness that you need to get out of you. See, I got this tea, y'all. Let me show y'all this tea. I have this tea called Smooth Move. Okay, I don't see it right now. There it is. All right, so let me tell y'all something about this Smooth Move. If you drink this Smooth Move, right? When you wake up in the morning, you drink it at night. When you wake up in the morning, you don't feel it at first. But man, when you start moving around, it just whoosh, right? Clean your whole system out. Cool. Now, some people have this bitterness that's in them, and they need that smooth move for their mind. They need that smooth move for their consciousness to clean themselves out. After a great feast, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Christmas, before January 1st, I like to clean myself out because a lot of that stuff is what turns into disease and sickness. So I like to clean myself out. There are some brothers and sisters that need to clean themselves out from that self-hate that is in their hearts and in their minds. If you, and this is another thing I don't understand. Hey, Stephen L., were you in the chat when Keena called in the champ side? The way Keena started going off on champ side, I'm thinking, damn, this is somebody with a wrench on your channel. I'm thinking, why is he getting so upset at what the brother champ side is saying? Then the truth starts coming out. Keenan starts saying, man, you always riding the D of Haney. You always sucking his D. And I'm talking about really just trying to be disrespectful at this point. I'm going to pull up on you. We can set it up. I'm like, yo, so this how you been feeling. See, people don't believe me when I talk about those agents. When I talk about those COINTELPRO boxing fans, those agents of chaos. Whole time, you've been acting like you a brother. This is why, family, listen, especially to my family in the LDBC who have done nothing but show me love from the beginning. Listen to me, family. There are people, because I've seen it, and this is just from an observation, me being able to step on the outside and look in. Man, there are people that hate the fact that you all are unified. There are people who are furious of how much you all support each other. So what they do is they act like they with the brotherhood, they with, but this is when I found out that some of these people are foul, and they move just like those people move that were in Champ Size chat, that were coming on to the panel and just being disrespectful. This is what I realized. Let me read this real quick. Dirt Game Boss said, that's what they do, coach, when they can't answer with facts or with real reason why they feel the way they feel, they turn it into disrespect. Exactly. I seen a dude get mad. Listen to this, family. Dude got mad at me, supposed to be a fighter, right? Now, let me tell y'all something about coaching. What I say is what I say. My stance is my stance, okay? When I was in the military, I followed the rules. I knew that policy, though. I knew that book. And if you were not in the perimeters of them policies and you tried to add a little funk on it, bro, from a private first class to a staff sergeant, 10 years, I gave him hell. I remember Ugas, me and Ugas, professional boxer, fought Errol Spence, had a conversation on Instagram. And I told Ugas not to paint a picture like he just whooped Errol, because he had took a clip of the fight when he knocked Errol's mouthpiece out, and it went viral on Instagram. And I said, wait a minute. Now that ain't how that went. That was a moment, but let's come on, let's not do that. And Ugas was like, Ugas said what he said, and I said what I said. At the end of the conversation, Ugas said to me, now don't get it twisted, Ugas would whoop my ass in the ring, but don't get it twisted. The average y'all to be talking shit, I whoop your ass. But Ugas will whoop my ass, okay? But let me say this. You got to be a man at the end of the day. And you know what Ugas told me? He said, Coach, I respect you because I realize what you're saying, and I want to give a shout out to Errol Spence. It's on his page right now on Instagram. It's on his page if you think I'm lying. You'll see Coach Hudson and Ugas on that. It's on one of his videos where he knocks Errol Spence mouthpiece out. Now, family, if I had that conversation with Ugas, you think you gonna G check me? You think I'm gonna let you come on here and try to bully me out of my opinion and bully me off my square? We can have differences of opinion, but it's something Coach ain't gonna bend on. Okay? And one thing about it is, when it comes to the hating on each other and all that, bro, I'm not with that. But when you come into the chat and you get so mad about the truth, you start talking about you gonna whoop my ass and all this, dude. One of my mentors had to hit me up and tell me to calm down, because this is what happened. Dude in the chat a few days ago on another channel, he posted, he was saying, Coach, man, you know, suck my D and all this stuff. I mean, he being real disrespectful. I said, you know what, champ? I said, you know what, man? You say you a fighter, right? I said, that's fine, because we can do something about this. We can do something about this. What I want you to do is, I want you to put the USA boxing gym that you go to, put in the chat, and we're gonna go from there. So, and he talking cash money shit, right? He puts it in the chat. I said, bet. He still calling me names and all that. Now, for about 30 minutes, people was like, man, where Coach Hudson go? What y'all didn't know is, Coach Hudson was already on the phone with the coach. Not only did the coach not even know, dude, it wasn't even the USA boxing gym. I kid you not. Not only that, it wasn't even in the gym he posted is not even in the city that he posted anymore. It had not been there for years. These are the type of characters we got in social media. And my mentors had to say, Coach, you have to understand, some of these guys can be Floyd Mayweather on social media. You understand? Some of these guys can be Muhammad Ali behind that keyboard. The time, he said, Coach, the time it took you on the phone with this coach, you did all of this, you could put that time into something else. So I had to realize, yo, this is a cesspool of cowards. This ain't about so much being tough. This is what it's about. Men, it's certain conversations. And I started to follow like different fan bases. I started realizing with certain channels comes different levels of integrity. Salute, Brent Fox is in the house. Comes different levels of integrity. It's certain ways men do not speak to each other, but in person. I realize social media has made it safe though. See, because it's some things you just not gonna say to me in person. See, I either gotta walk away or something gonna happen. Fighters don't talk to, I don't care if it's a coach, trainer, or fighter. People who have been in any combat sport, it's certain ways we ain't gonna talk to each other. We can have a difference of opinion, but when you start that, yo, suck my D, yo, get off my nuts and all that, I'm like, hold the door, buddy. All right? You're talking to me crazy. Get the whooping on that ass, or you're gonna have to beat my ass. You know. So I had to calm down, right? Brent Fox said, come on, Coach, them internet folks are really the characters. That's what I found out, Brent Fox. See, when I was running my gym, I could only listen to the channels. I couldn't be as involved now. And I started realizing, yo, these dudes ain't they not who they say they are. They not. I hear people coming on talking about, oh man, this person's trash, this person's listen, let me tell you something, yo. See, if you've been in the gym, you know your average good journeyman that's in the gym can whoop the average person on the street that does not have boxing training, even if they're a street fighter. I saw a dude come in the gym, fam, I kid you not. I seen a dude come in the gym. That dude couldn't have weighed anything less than 250 pounds. Big ass dude. He was looking for my coach. My coach was not there. My coach, now this is back in 2000. This had to be 2011, right? Hey, salute Queen Tay Tay in the house. All in the house. So comes in the gym and one of my gym buddy, Oscar Benitez. All right. Oscar Benitez is 130 pounds. Dude was talking that rah-rah, got in the ring with Oscar, who is an amateur. I think Oscar was like 17 then. Oscar don't box anymore. We all old now. But Oscar went to whooping that ass. Big ass dude. Oscar made that man quit with body shots. Took his ass into deep water. By the third round, the dude was in deep water. That's how out of shape he was. See? I told dudes yesterday in the chat, I said, listen, man, y'all be talking this crap that a lot of y'all would die if we boxed 3 rounds. 3 3-minute rounds. You would die. And listen, there's nothing wrong with you being honest with yourself. But see, they say that, they did a study. They said the average man overestimates his ability by 500 times of what he really can do. And I'm starting to see it now. I'm like, yo, and those who've been following me, bro, all right, those who've been following me and you know who I am, those who really know who I am, I know the spaces that we're in. I don't get on here challenging people because what benefit does that do? If I go whooping on somebody that doesn't train, doesn't fight, it doesn't make me better. That's not what the sport of boxing is about. Somebody that has been a former fighter, even. Have you all seen those videos? You all remember that girl that went in Clarissa Shields' gym talking at rah-rah and Clarissa almost killed her ass? There's a viral video. This redneck dude goes in this gym. The coach is in there cleaning. Coach is in there cleaning the gym. Dude was like, yeah, I'm such and such. That was online. Man, coach humbly whooped that man's ass. Family, listen. Don't think because a person isn't in the top 5 professional. Run up on Bozy Ennis right now. In his age, Bozy Ennis will beat the shit out of the average man walking on the street. But the disrespect that comes into the sport of boxing is just there. That's what it is. See? And those who know. All right, let me give y'all a little background. Let me show y'all how humble I am. Okay? The video, one of the first videos I posted on YouTube was me back training for the Olympics before I hurt my back when I was in the military, right? Go through years to be able to walk again, lift weights again, everything. I get back to training, but I can't compete anymore because I've lost so many years, right? Cool. Did the Army thing. Worked in the prison, right? All that good stuff. Get out, I start training the youth. When I was training the youth and I had my own gym, if you go to Google and you put in Hudson's Boxing Studio, Kennesaw, Georgia, that's my gym. We had 2 locations, right? Ran it for 3 years, okay? The average person would come into the street with this mentality that a lot of these guys have in these spaces. Quintete said, what I be saying to these MMA fighters in boxing, it's a sweet science. There's straight punches, straight hooks, straight jabs in MMA. You don't see that. All you see is looping punches. Exactly. Brent Fox says, to your point, coach, there are several multinational champions that did not break the top 5 in professional boxing. Exactly. But people don't understand. They don't understand how big boxing is. Elijah Pierce, who pieced up Tank and sparring, is just now going to be on Manny Pacquiao's first promotion undercard. And that man been putting in work for years and has a crazy style. All right. People that come into the gym, what's the first thing they come and say? They say, Coach Hudson, I want to spar. I say, hey, man, you know, you're not in shape yet. Let's get you in shape first and then, right? They don't want to do that. Young man came down from the Midwest with his dad, thought he was just going to come in the gym and whoop some people because of he was up under this person, that person, but he ain't been in shape. In the ring. I'm in the ring because in my rule in my gym was Nobody under 18 spars without me being inside the ring. I'm in the ring. People are getting their asses whooped, family. Nose are getting broken, right? Lips getting busted, all of that. Now, of course, I would stop it, but I would always tell my fighters once they would leave, I would say, now see, this is why the average person don't do this, because it's not easy. Those of you who've been around enough, when you saw me sprain my wrist last year, and those who were in the chat last week, I just got back to be able to train to round 7, 3-minute rounds. So when people just come out and act like they're just Superman, I'm like, bro, come on, y'all. You don't know who you're talking to. You see what I'm saying? Dude, it was one dude talking crazy to Coach Marcus. You don't know his son is King Cam, who will probably beat the brakes off of you. But there ain't no respect. And then you sit around, you got these people that sit around and act like they're with the family, and they're not. This dude that's on our brother Champside's channel, he get on Champside's channel and is telling Champside he gonna pull up on him. Now he want to fight. You a Devin Haney D rider. So let me get this straight. You all like the facts in the sport of boxing until somebody hurts your feelings. And what I mean by that is the person that you hate, when we have to report on them, now you don't like us. Man, dude, you an agent this whole time. This whole time you've been an agent. I have never met, now I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I done seen a lot of stuff, especially in the military and working in the jail. I have never seen a black man who has an Asian superiority complex. I've never seen that before. This is new to me. But I'm sitting there and I'm listening and I'm like, yep, y'all see this? See, this is how they be feeling this whole time. See, anytime you get to debating somebody and they get upset like that, see, that's how they've been feeling the whole time. That's how they've been feeling the whole time. Coach, I'm gonna do this. Coach, I'm gonna do that. Oh, you gonna do what to me? To who? All right. You know what? Let me go ahead and call around and see if we can get that right. It ain't worth it, family. These people, what I realize, get upset when you show everybody else, because I had to put myself, sometimes you got to put yourselves in another person's shoes. Let me get my cup. Sometimes you got to put yourself in another person's shoes, because I'm telling y'all, they live in an alternate reality. What you mean, coach? I'm gonna tell you what I mean. So you got 200 people in the chat, 300 people in the chat, right? And they have this persona of themselves online. But then when somebody removes the mask and removes the cape, and now they're exposed, that's when they get out their bag. Now they want to fight. Now they want to pull up. And I'm listening to the young brother. The young brother is so confused. He don't really know. He don't really know the culture the way he think he do. Because I'm hearing another brother tell Champside he gonna pull up on him in New Orleans. He gonna pull up on him. I'm like, bro, you gonna go where? And you gonna do what? Fake news. Fake news. You go to New Orleans, you go to Baton Rouge and lose your life. You hear me? Go down there looking for somebody that's really from down there and lose your life trying to be tough. To just keep up with a persona that, family, you don't have to do. Doing things you don't have to do. So, you know, people are upset right now when we point it out. But here's the thing. This is what I got a question for. What are you all going to do if Devin wins? What's going to happen then? Are you still going to root for the young brother, Brian Norman Jr.? And let me get this. I would love, let me tell y'all something. I would love for Brian Norman Jr. to be the next Evander Holyfield for Atlanta, Georgia, because that's close enough for me where I can go see some big fights. I would love that. And I root for the success of Brian Norman Jr. I think Devin Haney's going to outbox him. Let me show y'all the difference. And this is how, because see, everybody starting to call themselves Coach such and such now. I want to show y'all something. If someone comes on your channel and they call themselves a coach, I want you to ask them to give their boxing analysts, no, their boxing analysis on a certain fight and how each person could win and each person could lose. You're going to start seeing the differences of, all right, is this person a real coach or not, number one? And if they are they decent? Do they know what the hell they're talking about? Because somebody lying. Ain't no way you a coach and the only thing you know is a jab. Ain't no way you a coach and you're disrespecting the accomplishments of any professional fighter. Because Brian Norman Jr., let me make it very plain to y'all. Listen, anybody who makes it, whether it's a gold, silver, or bronze, whether it's a golden glove or a silver glove, if they are a champion in any of those, Brian Norman Jr. was, Devin Haney was, Usyk was, Shakur Stevenson was, Keyshawn Davis was, Teofimo Lopez was, Ryan Garcia was. Who else? I mean, we can go on and on. The whole Russell family, Abdullah Mason. Who else? Lamont Roach, DMV national champion. It goes on and on. You can't disrespect these guys and just call them trash. Now, the average boxing fan might, but the coaches, I don't expect to hear that type of talk from y'all unless you just now let me say this. When you go, thank you, Queen Tay, Deontay Wilder, who they were calling trash. Now, at every boxing event, you have some coaches who run their mouth. They're loud and obnoxious. But a lot of times, they usually only have one good fighter under them, or they're the second, third corner man for somebody who's really doing the work. It usually ain't them. It usually ain't them because that is not the character and the integrity of a real teacher. How do you know that, coach? I want you to watch excuse me, family, let me pour this tea before this tea get cold. I want you all to watch the composure of a Bomac, of a Virgil Hunter, of a even old school Derrick James. Come down to Georgia. Look at, if you go to a USA boxing event, especially they want the one they have in College Park every year, College Park, Georgia, right? Excuse me, it's not College Park. It's I think it is College Park. Either College Park, it's somewhere in Riverdale. But when you see Coach Mustafa, look how they carry themselves. When you see, if you go to North Georgia, and they have the big Cinco de Mayo boxing event with Coach Lugo, you see the differences. You see the differences from the young coaches and the wiser, older coaches. Okay? There's this idea going on in these realms where people feel like, okay, well, I'm right and my way's no, family, you're not the only person with boxing knowledge. That's not the way boxing is so deep in what you teach. And people have different forms of how they're teaching. But these spaces on YouTube have just made it strange. And what I've heard, the hate that I've heard, it has to be studied at this point. You know what I mean? Hold on, family, let me put this up so I can drink my tea. Salute to the general is in the house. Salute to the general. 78 Sports TV is in the house. Oh, hold on, family. Let me keep that in my hand before I tear something up. But yeah, family. So not to go too deep into that coach thing. I expect coaches to be a certain way. But this is the difference. This is how it should go. If somebody says to me, "Hey, Coach Hudson, what do you think about the Brian Norman Jr. versus Devin Haney fight?" We want a boxing coach's real analysis of the fight, how it could go, etc. I would say this. I would say, well, to be unbiased, Brian Norman Jr. and Devin Haney are great fighters. The strengths and weaknesses goes hand in hand like so. Brian Norman Jr., his strengths is in his power, his ability when the shot is open to land it on the right spot and get his opponents out of here. He's done it in the pros. He's done it in the amateurs. All right. Devin Haney has, like Stormy B-Man, the sensei once pointed out when he spoke about the dimensions of a fighter, which that's a great way to look at it. If we all start taking our emotion out of it and we start looking at a fighter with dimensions, right? Or what I would call the no-go-go station. So anybody that was in the military, you all know we have something called a no-go-go station. When you're trained on something, you either get a go or a no-go. So I had a 2-page list of things that I would have a fighter do. You either get a go or a no-go before I allow you to compete, right? Devin Haney, in my opinion, if this makes sense, has more goals than Brian Norman Jr. I believe that he can fight off the back foot better. I believe that he can keep his head off the line better than Brian Norman Jr. I believe that he can catch and shoot better than Brian Norman Jr. I believe that the only way that Brian Norman Jr. can beat Devin Haney is in a catch and shoot counter. What is a catch and shoot counter? I want you to imagine that if you are in your, let me put the phone down. I want you to imagine I'm in my guard, right? I'm in my guard. Now, this is my lead. I'm standing southpaw. If someone hits me with their lead uppercut and I catch it here, their left side is now open. Their whole left side is open, right? When they touch my elbow, I don't even have to look, right? I can keep my eyes right there on their shoulder. All I have to do is shoot now. Catch, shoot. Catch, shoot. All right, that's a catch and shoot counter. Family, what I just gave you is a boxing analysis on how it can go good, how it can go bad. But when a person calls in and they just say, you know what, I just hate that I just hate him. I just hate Devin. I just hate Bill. Bro, that's not a real boxing fan. Something is wrong with that man. And you can hear the hate in his voice. That's the type of brothers that unalive Malcolm. I know y'all don't want me to get that deep. Them the kind of brothers that set up Dr. King. Them the kind of brothers that showed certain agencies the blueprint of Fred Hampton's apartment. These are the kind of people who are more dangerous to you than any devil that you know. Pardon me. And what I heard yesterday just further let me know that is everything that we've been saying has happened. Now, you all want to say that we crazy. You all want to say, oh, coach, it ain't that deep. I'm about to show you it's exactly how we've been calling it. Trit Rich said, hated Dev, admitted Norman is from his area, but won't admit he has a dog in the fight. Yeah, okay. Now, thank you for reminding me of that. Let me point this out. Now, here I am, a former USA boxing coach and a current NASM coach, right? National Association of Sports Medicine health coach, right? I know, and every USA boxing coach knows, that in the state of California, I'm not going to do it right now. Maybe I'll do it. I'll do it in one of my lives this week. But I'm going to show you all why the state of California has one of the deepest amateur divisions and one of the most competitive. When you go to the Nationals and you are from anywhere else, when you have to go against somebody from California, usually it's, man, you already know it's finna be a fight. If you finna go against somebody from Cali, from Ohio, or from the DMV, you know it's about to be a fight, and you gotta come with your A game. It ain't, and people in the chat were getting emotional about it because I said it. Family, I'm not from Cali. They was like, oh, nigga, you just a West Coast nigga. Who? I never been to the West Coast. What the hell is wrong with y'all? I have no reason to lie about something that we know. Now, with that being said, the area that's been giving the USA boxing scene so much trouble is Team Cartel from Toledo, Ohio. It's Toledo, Ohio, and it's another city in Ohio. It's two gyms put together. They go around the country whooping ass. They have like several 6, 7-time national champions on their team. Okay. If you come down to the South, Coach Lugo's gym, they have a lot of national champions on their team. They're going to give you problems. Okay. So when Devin was growing up, family, what gyms do you think he was getting work in? How do you all think all of them up there in New York, all of them up there in New Jersey, that knew Bill? And that's another thing. I know people like to say, oh, well, you know, Richardson Hitchens is this. Man, Richardson Hitchens is a two-faced individual. And I just can't do it. Because let me say this, family, because it ain't just about Richard Hitchens. That brother, that brother Bill Haney. Let me say this. I heard a brother say yesterday that they love Tank, but they hate Bill Haney because Bill Haney is a former convict trying to live through his son. Let me say that again. Salute Isaiah W. In the house. The family's in the house. I kid you not, this is what was said, family. I'm not making this up. Stephen L. was in there with me. Stephen L. was there. Queen Tay was there. We was all on Champ Size Live yesterday and heard this. Brother called in and said, I hate Bill Haney because Bill Haney is a convict living through his son. So then I said in the chat, I said, well, damn, he really gonna trip when he finds out the story of Coach Calvin. Wait a minute, wait. See, you can't be double-minded and double-tongued, family. You can't say and just make up shit out of your ass. You can't say you hate Bill because he's a convict, but then you love Tank, who was trained by Coach Cal, who had a very similar story to Bill. You see what I'm saying? And see, then you have these coward dudes that come in here and say, you are gay. Family, listen, we're not talking about your father right now. We're talking about the sport of boxing. Don't try to come in here and knock us off our straight path. You see, it's safe for them, family. I was just telling y'all about this. It's safe for these cowards to do this on social media. See, a dude like that could never walk into the boxing gym. See? Never. And then he makes Trent, my bad, Trent. I didn't mean to click on your name, man. Hold on. Let me get this bot out of here. I told your mama not to leave you alone. Hold on. Yeah, man, I told your mama not to leave you alone. How do I bring my brother Trent back? God dang it. Hold on. Man, how I bring, hold on. Damn, Trent. My bad, Trent. I was trying to click on the troll. Done mistakenly timed out my brother. One of my moderators, I think, hey, Queen Tay, I think you have the big moderator wrench. If somebody could untime my brother Trent Rich, that was a mistake, man. See, this is why I got to stop pressing buttons. Hold on, fam. Let me see if I can fix this. Yeah. Can manage block words and change chat modes and live. Hold on, family. I'm gonna fix this. Okay, Trent Rich, you should be able to come back. See, that's just like a devil try to knock us off our straight path. See, let's see who this is. Jacob Carley. Yeah, man. Well, Trent Rich, when you do come back, family, you have a wrench. Okay, Queen Tay Tay, I think I gave you the big wrench. I did not. Hold on, let me fix that, Queen Tay Tay. Queen Tay Tay needs one, and man, the general need a wrench. I'm not used to seeing the general, so I haven't really had time to do that. Let me say, all right, add as. Okay, Queen Tay Tay, I got you. Queen Tay Tay, the general, I got you. So I ain't gonna mess with any more buttons. So look, you can't just make up stuff to the reasons to not like someone and then lie to yourself and lie to the chat. Do you know how many fighters, trainers have been to jail and made something better of themselves? But I keep telling y'all, family, it ain't about that. This is about people trying to have a reason to hate on somebody so they don't look stupid. They build an alternate reality around their hate. And I didn't understand it till now. I didn't get it till now. I said, okay. Somebody pulled me to the side and he said, Coach, you know how in boxing, in the boxing gym, we have our own code of conduct. And when that code of conduct is crossed, usually things go very bad, very fast. All right. Well, there are people in these content spaces, you got to understand, they have their own rules of conduct as well. See, trolling to them is okay. Like this Jacob dude that came in. This is a coward. This is a spineless, hoe-ass individual who hears truth and says, you know what, let me put "you are gay" in the chat. Whole time they're projecting who they really are. See? So now what they got to go do is they got to go rush and make another troll account. Rush and make another account so they can come into the chat and still be a troll, because now the place where they felt safe behind their computer, they feel like they have to defend their honor. And that's all that's happening. But I want to show you why they're mad at us, why they're mad at the truth tellers, and they have no real smoke for mainstream media. Now, Max Kellerman, hey, Ratchet since 91, salute family in the house. Now, Max Kellerman can disrespect us. Jim Lampley can disrespect us. Mike Coppinger and Todd, whatever his name is, and all these people, they can disrespect us in the sport of boxing. They can say what they want. Paulie Maliangi can say what he wants. Jake Paul called you all by your fan base. Jake, let me tell you what Jake Paul said. Jake Paul said, you all who follow Tank are cowardly and corrupt as he is. And y'all had no smoke for him. I have not seen one Jake Paul live that's 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours with you all calling out Jake, because you only have smoke for brothers who look like you. You are sick. Family, let that sizzle in your spirit for a second. Just dwell on that for a second, what I just said. I want you to really let that seep into your mind. Jake Paul, who just got here yesterday, said that you are cowardly, spineless individuals for following a man like Tank. That's what Jake Paul said. And you all had no smoke for him. Paulie has said even worse. You got no smoke for Paulie. But you come into these spaces and you say, man, you know what? Man, I hate that nigga. I hate that nigga. This is a man probably in his 40s, late 30s. Who did it to you, brother? Who hurt you that bad? And listen, this cop out, this was somebody tried to tell Coach the other day, family. I kid you not. I ain't gonna be long. I already been live for about an hour, but just listen. Just hear me out. Somebody said to me, they said, well, coach, maybe the psychosis of some of these fighters is they grew up in survival mode around other black men, so that brought the self-hate that they have. Nope. Foul. Foul on the plate. That's a damn cop-out. Let me tell y'all something about me. Growing up, and it's by the grace of God. This ain't about me being tough. And these guys that come out of prison or come out the street and make it seem like that it was them that was so tough that, you know, nothing happened to them. The only reason why nothing happens to you in the street or behind those bars is because the grace of God himself was around you. It ain't because you was just so tough on your own, family. It's not. God protected you from them demons. God protected you from losing your damn mind when brothers around you that you grew up with is dying in your arms. It's God's divine intervention that kept you in your right mind. So this idea that you just so, no, family, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. It was God's divine intervention in your affairs, which is why you're here today. So you say you hate a young brother that looked just like you for no reason. There's something inside of you that's wrong. Now, I've been in shootouts. I've seen brothers do some of the most heinous crimes to each other. Never. And I don't walk around blind like all kumbaya, we all, no. That ain't coach. Because that'd be a damn lie. I'm always on guard. Stay alert, stay alive. I know that there's some brothers out there that might not give a damn about me and would knock me over my head for the $100 bill in my pocket. I know it's brothers like that, but that ain't all of us. That's a cop-out. That ain't all us. That's just like you brothers that get on here and say, man, I hate all black women because black women are this and black women are that. Bro, that's a cop-out. There's every shade of black woman. Any type of woman you want, come in a black woman. You want a fair-skinned woman, it's a black woman like her. You want a woman that love anime, it's a black woman that's like her. You want a woman that's soft-spoken and is very subservient and all that good stuff, there's a black woman like her. You just got to admit that your preference just ain't black women, or there's something else going on. That's a whole nother life. But the point that I'm making is this cop-out that these brothers in the sport of boxing are in some type of survival mode. I'm going to break that down, and I'm going to show you all how that's such a damn lie. All of them brothers who y'all try to give that excuse to came up in the USA Boxing program. Do you know what every one of us have dealt with in the USA Boxing program, especially if you go into nationals, especially if you've gone over to the West Coast and fought, or the West Coast has met us at an event in the Midwest, or has come to Miami at one of those events, and some of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about? You've seen the racism. You've seen it. You've seen the fights break out between different tribes. And I don't want to make this live about that, but I just want to show you the hypocrisy. Some of you all grew up with these biased non-black judges that have tried to keep you from making it to the nationals. They have tried to keep you from making it to the USA Boxing Olympic team. So bad, they were actually about to get rid of boxing in the Olympics permanently. Do you all understand that? What do you all think all that was about? That was because of so much hypocrisy and so much moral degeneracy in the amateurs. They were about to get rid of it altogether. But you all ain't got no hate for the European. You all ain't got no hate for these white and Mexican judges, these white and Mexican fighters in the sport of boxing. But you want to call in and tell me how much you hate a brother like Devin Haney. It's been a week, and I'm starting to understand because, you know, the general said this a few months ago. He said, anytime we get close to two brothers fighting who are in their prime, or it's just an exciting fight, we get more and more out of pocket with each other. And the closer we get to Brian Norman Jr. versus Devin Haney, I realize I just got to get ready for it. It's about to get crazy. It's about to get crazy. The night of the fight, or the day of the fight, I'm going to be traveling. So I'm probably going to be going live from my phone because my laptop will be here. I'm actually going to be in the Midwest when they fight. But I'm going to do my best to call the fight and give some reaction. But because I'll be with family. But I just got to say this, man. I learned a lot this week. I learned that, you know, a lot of people are cosplaying different characters on here. You know what I mean? I didn't think it was going to spill over into the sport of boxing. You know, it's just like, and you're seeing it all over. You know, I know my brother Freedom's March. I know my brother Trill Will, who I should have been following. I just started following my brother, and I'm like, yo, I should have been following Trill Will. When they talk about what's going on in politics. Now, look, family, do you all notice the correlation between the race fan, the casual boxing fan, and people who blindly follow politicians? You all ever realize how they move very similar? You all ever realize how their characteristics and their integrity is very similar? But y'all want to tell me that, Coach, you know, I don't believe in that spooky stuff. I don't believe in frequencies and energies and consciousness and spirits. All right, you ain't got to believe in it, but you're going to deal with it. You ain't got to believe. You're going to deal with it because you're starting to see that in every lane where there can be truth versus a lie, people are dealing with the same frequency, energy, consciousness, spirits, demons. And when I heard the hate in that brother's voice who said, I hate Devin Haney. When I heard that, I said, yep. See, when you speak truth for a long, protracted period of time, the hate gonna come for you. You all ever notice, if you watch these trolls on the channels with the truth tellers, you all ever notice how the trolls, they never pop up in these racist channels. They never pop up in these weirdo channels. That's how you know who you're dealing with, family. So now when you look over at politics, you realize it's people defending the pedos right now in real time. I heard a lady, and I hope none of my, I'm gonna land this plane, but I heard a lady on the news say there's a big difference between wanting to be with a 5-year-old versus wanting to be with a 13-year-old, 15-year-old. I said, oh my God, these demons are coming out of these people. You're starting to hear them. They no longer can hide because there's so much truth coming out. I keep telling y'all, when the truth come out, you start seeing it. I'm not gonna give y'all too much more because I know I done gave you a little bit to think about. But I hope you all tune in tonight because we got we have the battle of the Rastafari. We got Conor Ben versus Chris Eubank Jr. I can't wait to see it. I'll be going back live Monday morning. And hey, man, I know some of the truth tellers are going to go live today. I can't wait to see what they got to say today and tomorrow. I know the general already did a premiere this morning. I know I think the brother Drew Tiger is going to go live later. And I know the Queen Sugar Free Mars is going to go live tomorrow. I'm pretty sure a lot of us are going to go live tonight after the fight. But, hey, y'all, I appreciate all of y'all coming through. Trent Rich, man, I'm sorry, family. But when you come back, you definitely will have a wrench. Peace to the family. Peace to my comrades. And it's always smoke to you know who. The COINTEL